It's a class just for Kawasaki Ninja 300 bikes and also our previous model, the Ninja 250R. So it's only competitors on either of those two brands or those two Kawasaki motorcycles can ride in the race.
The Ninja FX 300 class is a brilliant class for young riders, up-and-coming riders, old riders that want to have a go and don't want to spend too much money. It's just one of those classes that makes road racing a lot more accessible just because it's a lot cheaper than your average sort of class.
We try to keep the cost down for competitors by reducing the complexity of the rules. So there is some freedom on the engine side. It's mostly the exhaust and FI tuning for that exhaust system. And then with the suspension, we allow a degree of changing of the rear suspension and also the front fork internals. You can play with the damping unit and the spring in. That's a low-cost class. Yeah. So therefore, it should open the opportunity for more competitors to be involved in road racing who may not normally be there.
So why do you like racing the Ninja 300?
Chose to do it this year, coming off 1000cc last year.
Yep.
Decided it's time I learnt to ride.
Learn to ride?
Learn to ride. These things will teach you to ride. Very close racing.
Bit of a strange step coming from 1000 down to
Absolutely. My brain does not adapt very well, but learning slowly. They're light. Yep. They're easy to manoeuvre around. If you make a mistake, they're very forgiving. There's been lots of jumping over hill strips and all those sorts of things that you would not normally get away with.
It's hard. You've got to push it a bit more and try to find new boundaries, but the racing's probably closer than what I used to have on the 600. It's, like I said, more even and it brings more riders up to the front.
I'm the third spoke in the wheel, so we've got youth, beauty and age.
Yep.
So
wisdom.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. If I was wise, I wouldn't be doing it because racing is like a drug. So, yeah, I'm still spending money on it, but still enjoying myself.
You've ridden superbikes, super sport, you've tested bikes, you've done it all. How do you find the racing itself?
It's brilliant. Pretty much every race is shoulder to shoulder, touching elbows and carving each other up, for a couple of meetings. And it feels good for me to get out there and do what I love doing, and also maybe showing some of the kids maybe some lines and some moves that they wouldn't have seen before. And I can't deny I'm learning stuff all the time as well. I've had to retune my brain to the few times I rode 125s and 250 productions way back when, and try and remember all that stuff. And it's just been brilliant racing. And that's the attraction of going and doing it as well.
On the 300, you really have to slipstream a lot, so you've got to be thinking ahead constantly if you're going to be coming up to a lapped rider, or if you're going to have a whole train of people behind you that's sort of getting a pull along, and then you're going to have like 4 go past you into the next turn. So you've got to constantly be thinking ahead of what's happening now, which is really tiring, but it's invaluable.
They create the best racing. Everybody's so close, nothing separating us, five position changes a lap, and, tissue paper width over the finish line. Getting right in there and finding a gap when there isn't really a gap, it really develops you as a rider. Can't get much better, can you?
Sounds like it's dodgem cars out there, mate, not motorcycle racing.
A little bit sometimes it is.
What would you say about the other young guys that are looking to get into racing and how to go about it?
Just chip away at it slowly. Don't jump up on a big bike straight up thinking you're going to go well, because you won't, trust me. Yeah, just small steps, start in the juniors and work your way up. Try and find as much support as you can, but be safe about it.
What do you see for the future of this Cup? I mean, do you see it here to stay?
I certainly hope so, and I think if it did grow, it could be one of the best things for Australian racing that there is. I love to see too many bikes to fit on a grid, so they have to qualify. That's how I'd like to see it. And a class that's this cheap to run is probably the only chance we've got at the moment of getting that many bikes on a grid, and more importantly, getting people that wouldn't be out there otherwise.